Hi, I'm Red. I'm a Seattle artist born in Germany, and I went to Cornish 5 years ago. My artwork is sort of focused on surrealist, figurative, dreamlike worlds, but it also explores a lot of nature imagery and kind of high fashion technology imagery, and kind of plays with all those elements to create these dreamlike worlds. So that's what I do. I also use a lot of mixed media usage, so different layers of collage and digital work and printing digital work and then collaging on top of it and oil painting on top of it. So I kind of sort of push those same boundaries of like technology in the actual work process that's like in the context of the work. So right out of school, I was sort of in that boat where I was like, well, I know what I want to do with my art. I don't know what I want to do with my day job. And spent a couple of years just floating around doing sort of artsy, retail-ish things, which were all pretty terrible. And then I managed to find this studio job at Bellevue Fine Art Reproduction, which is an amazing printmaking and scanning studio that only works with artists. And since I've started working there, it's been just this amazing thing for my process and for giving me access to all this technology, because we have super high resolution scanners that can capture original works, but then we also have large format printers and all the digital equipment. So it's kind of opened my eyes to what can be done as far as digital work goes, and the areas where people don't even know if it can be done yet. So I get to kind of be the guinea pig and go, what if we tried this, and what will that turn out like? It's also really great because I see a constant stream of artists coming through, and I get to work with their work and kind of see like what's working about that, what's not working about it, what do I want to kind of incorporate or try. Well, I think right out of school, the tricky part is always like you sort of have this tool set now and you're excited and you want to start working, but you kind of don't necessarily always know how to start. And for me, initially, right after the BFA, I got offered one show with a little local gallery, which gave me a couple of connections. But then for the next few years, it was kind of just like, you know, a show every few months and then tracking down another one, sort of a little bit of like a, I guess, slow start. And then my boyfriend and I both had the chance to get a studio over at the 619 Western building, which was this amazing building with 120 artists with open studios, where every first Thursday we would open like our workspace and show off everything. And we started curating our own little gallery with other people's work and our own work, where we would try to, you know, think of themes and invite artists we thought went with the theme, and then have our own solo shows every few months. But that sort of gave me this ecosystem of artists where, you know, like all the friends we were showing then would be like, hey, come to my other gallery show over here, and sort of made this little, you know, network of Seattle artists supporting each other. And even though the building's gone now, I feel like there's still sort of like the leftover wave from that, where just now all those artists that were involved are like each other's fans. And if we're too busy for a show, we'll be like, well, my friend has a body of work. So that was sort of what got me really started after school. But since then, with that and with Bellevue Fine Art, and then just sort of focusing more on having an online presence and really promoting myself on the various internet platforms has been pretty much what's gotten me to where I am now, where I'm just constantly showing. It's definitely tough. Especially initially, you know, when it's less than ideal. Like I said, you know, one of my first jobs out of school was I was doing like window displays and visual store displays, and it was just creative enough that I could like be, it's creative, and just not creative enough to make me miserable, you know? And you sort of start realizing that if you're doing something that uses all your energy, then you come home and you don't want to paint, you don't want to do any of your own work. So I think there's definitely like a balance point for everyone, where you're doing something that you love and that you enjoy and that makes you money, but you still have time left over for focusing on your own work and where it needs to be going. For me, I love Bellevue Fine Art partly because I can be there just a couple of days a week, and it's enough that I get out of my own studio, and when I'm like stuck on something, I I go somewhere else and I get to see all these new perspectives, and then I come back kind of fresh and go, well, that was working, so let's try that. Yeah, but I think definitely, you know, like artists starting out need to know that it is possible, because we hear so much where it's like, oh, you know, like only 1% of people keep going and nobody can make a living doing this. And I think you can, you just have to sort of be really like tricky and sneaky and find the little niche that you didn't know existed, but that does exist out there for you. And I've had a lot of success with that. Yeah, I sort of like, from having that space at 619, you know, we wanted to have something where if the public's going through 100 spaces that night, you know, they have to remember yours because they're seeing so much artwork. So we kind of started going in this like rainbow candy colored sci-fi direction with all our stuff, because, you know, like it would just make such a visual impact. And now it's kind of left over in our studio and it's sort of like a mad toy shop. I mean, I think mostly just like really figure out what it is you want to be doing, and then figure out how to get there, and don't be afraid, you know, and don't be afraid of like all the awkward little fumbles you're gonna make at the beginning, because everybody does. And I think a lot of people just get discouraged because they get done and it takes a little while to get going, and they're like, well, maybe I should stop. And I think that's the point where you really should just put all that aside and go, well, do I love it? Am I doing this because I want to do it? And keep making it, and then there's going to be that point where you look around and you're like, wow, people like this. And good.
Great. I think we got it.